Oh. Probably the most low energy stream I'm gonna do, but and there's a new person. Hi. Horrible first impression. I'm sorry. But oh, thank you. I'm currently dying, but thank you. Hi, I'm sick. Low energy. I'm sick. I hate. If you hear me coughing. Alright. How do I? No, dude. I came back from my class yesterday, and I started to cough a little. I'm like, surely it's nothing. I played Minecraft a bit with you guys yesterday, so I went to sleep thinking I'll be fine by tomorrow. Wake up, dying. 6 a.m. I'm coughing. It's low energy. Your voice, what the fuck? I can barely speak. It's a bitch. My throat's. If you hear the occasional sniff, or you should say, "No, I'm good. It's just annoying." No, I'm good. I'm good. But I need to work and I want to stream, so I thought, fuck it, I'll do both. And stream, absolutely not. I want to react to bullshit, and I can also work. I can do those. Smile. Just then. Oh. I'm taking care. I have a dinner. Cold abs. I had my shit. You worse tomorrow, you don't shut up. I'll be fine. What's your point? I'm just gonna react to shit while I work on the background. And also, and once I'm done, if I get tired, or I get bored of working, I'm just gonna switch. Is the music low or I can't hear? Because my ears are clogged. Chill, chill. Don't let her kick the thing. Dude, I tuned in to Kitty's stream for a second when you guys were talking about that. And he was doing the back and mine. Fine streaming mode? I think so. What's happening? Yeah. Can hear all of this good. My bad. Pretty sure it's on the this one. Streamer mode, yes.
This is a day.
Hey, shut up. Thought it was me. Do it, look. Dude, how dang I mean. Where is the thing?
In the life of a Japanese delivery person.
Oh, wait, shit. Woo. It's in the game, don't worry, it's not your alarm. Don't have a panic attack.
Emotional damage.
This is
You can mute
Yasuho,
Discord
22-year-old
notice or
living in Tokyo, and
I don't
she's just
think-
waking up to start her day. She lives alone in this newly built 1K apartment, and like
Ew.
many Japanese, she prefers to take a bath at night
That's
just before
cute.
she goes to sleep. Oh nice, she's sporting mop slippers.
Forehead.
Yasuho, how long does it take you to wear makeup?
僕はだいたい10分から15分ぐらいはかかります。
380. Appointments. Look. Thank you.
I guess she doesn't eat breakfast in her apartment.
I love Paolo. Look. Where's my air conditioner?
She commutes to work by bike, taking about only 10 minutes to get to the office. In fact, it's pretty rare in Tokyo for someone to live right next to the office, as most workers commute on average about 1 hour by train one way. Also, compared to other Japanese workers, her day starts a little earlier, so living nearby is ultra convenient.
Imagine not having to burn car anywhere.
Yasuho works as a delivery person at Sagawa Express, one of the largest transportation companies in Japan, with more than 50,000 employees spread across 400 offices throughout the country. Alright, so Yasuho should be coming around the corner right now. Let's see how much she slept this morning. Good morning. What time did you go to sleep last night?
10時ぐらいに寝ました。
And now I went to
Oh, she's changed into her Sagawa uniform, looking sharp. What did you just buy?
朝ごはんのクッキーとポカリスエット買いました。
Okay, she's eating a chocolate chip cookie for breakfast. Pocari Sweat is a popular sports drink in Japan. This is the go-to drink when Japanese want to quickly get hydrated.
I eat anything in the morning and if I eat anything before like 8 a.m., I have to go to the bathroom.
So this is the main Sagawa shipping terminal in the Tokyo area, and where all shipments are sorted every morning. She needs to pick up the boxes which go to her specific delivery area and load them into her microvan. Yasuko, what's in your pocket?
ハンコと必要な時に使うバッグ。
So every delivery person carries a name stamp with a date on it to mark delivery slips and other documents. It's a huge space to work, so communicating effectively between workers is important. Right now, she's sorting out smaller packages by address so it's easier to deliver.
3本食わないと働けないんだよね。
いつものルーティンみたいな。ありがとうございます。
What did he just give you?
お菓子もらいました。お菓子。
Oh, and that's her manager. It looks like they're going over material regarding new Sagawa services. So every morning before she starts, they actually clean the car, which is quite interesting, right? You can see how clean it is. So the company has a rule that drivers like Yasuho can't start deliveries until their van is completely clean. That explains why I never see a dirty Sagawa delivery truck in Tokyo. In fact, workers cleaning at the office or students cleaning at school is fairly common in Japanese culture. It highlights the importance of your surroundings and being responsible for your own good. Now that the delivery van is clean, he's able to load the boxes for her delivery area.
Gonna take me in one of those like. If you need to take me in like a fucking pet
Where are
cage,
you
I'll
going
quit.
now?
これから車を出すための
Stash me with the rest of the cargo, and even if I die of hypothermia midway.
To start the process, every morning she fills out a handwritten form with all of her details on it.
注文変更お願いいたします。社員番号709-6614係細田康です。出勤が7時1分
So what she's doing now is called Tenko. The company must ensure that all drivers are safe to be on the road. In order to do this, every driver needs to report their health condition as well as perform a breathalyzer test. And finally, read the safety driving rules in front of an inspection staff.
できます。
はい、いってらっしゃい。
Wow, it seems like Sagawa performs a lot of safety checks before they can get on the road. Damn, she even has more checks. Does every delivery company in the world do this?
Where I live,
Now
use
that
mirrors
Yasuo
with
has
living a
picked up all of her
utopia.
packages at the main Tokyo terminal, she's headed to
Yo,
a smaller
back me up.
distribution hub for a specified area.
Mirrors? What the fuck are those? Turning signals? No, dude. It just stick your hand out the window. Right?
Before she starts delivering packages, she stops by this area delivery hub and picks up this special Sagawa cart.
I
She
got
loads
that.
the boxes
Yeah,
from the
I'm
van and
currently
then touches the
dying.
cart to each delivery spot. She basically repeats this process until her van is completely empty of boxes.
Thought I doxed myself first? Oh, wait.
すいません、おはようございます。
こ
I thought my YouTube account was named. I had my real name in my YouTube account, but it's not. It's everything.
サインもらっても大丈夫ですか？
Yeah, iPad keeps autocorrect.
すいません、ありがとうござ
Turn
い
it
ま
off,
し
Jorge.
た。
Now she's delivering the remaining smaller packages.
My bro is a little annoying, and my ears feel a little fine.
ありがとうござい
I'll
ます。
survive.
お荷物どちら置きますか？はい、すいません、ありがとうございます。
It also has to do with a lot with the fact that I woke
What's
up at like
that?
6 a.m. with like 5 hours of
お
sleep.
客様がサインを書いたりとか、あと荷物を集める際に使ったりして、お客様がオンラインでお荷物が今どこにあるのかとか分かるために使ってます。
So she's currently assigned to the Nihonbashi area, which is known to have many apparel wholesale facilities, so she delivers not only to regular houses, but to many apparel shops and businesses.
はい、すいません、ありがとうございました。ありがとうございます。
Why do you always say thank you
い
twice?
つも2回言ってます。なんか癖で荷物受け取ってもらった時と最後出る時に2回言ってます。
In Japan, streets are relatively safe, especially from theft, which you'll notice a bit more throughout this video. But she's still careful to lock her cart during deliveries.
こんにちは、佐川急便です。お荷物。はい、お続きにします。
Dude.
So she's been working as a delivery person for about 6 months. So she's fairly new to her job. She says that she likes it because she gets to communicate with customers every day, and having trusted relationships with them gives her motivation.
すいません、ありがとうござい
Did I
ます。
get away with
ありがとう
the
ございました。
autocorrect is a
So what's the
blessing.
hardest part of working as a delivery person?
結構一日歩いたりするので、その分筋肉痛になったりとかしちゃって、でも力がついた分体が健康になったので肩こりとかなくなって。
Yay! She finally finished all of her deliveries. That wasn't so bad. So, what are you gonna do now?
これからご飯に行きます。
Her PDT device works as a time card as well, so she clocks off
That'll be
during
fine, like-
lunch. You have to change during your lunch break?
そうなんです。ご飯行くときはこの下の佐川の制服のままご飯に食べに行くのがダメなので、上にみんな何か羽織ってご飯に食べに行きます。
Ah, I guess that's why I never see Sagawa workers eating out. Makes so much sense now. So she's meeting up with some of her senpais for lunch. Senpai is a Japanese word used for senior colleagues and mentors.
And so,
So, how long have you been working at Sagawa?
10年弱ぐらい
have
What's your
some.
favorite part of this job?
仲良く横のつながりでやって
I had scrambled egg.
和気あいあいとやる感じで
Oh.
楽しいです
How about you?
人と接して仕事ができることですね。
Have you ever had trouble with foreign customers having to use English?
配達普通に僕らが業務する中では別にそこまで必要ないんですけど、やっぱりここら辺に観光客とかもいて
道を聞かれます。
Google だ。
Google。
So they
Ah,
often go to
where's
this
my
Japanese
video?
izakaya drinking restaurant together. Izakayas are usually frequented in the evening, but many open for businesses during lunchtime to serve affordable set menu items like this place.
ごちそうさまでした。
Alright, so we're just back for lunch, and she actually has a longer lunch than usual. It's about an hour and a half.
Look.
Usually people only have an hour break, but
chance.
I guess they have longer break times here because you're just like
Chicken egg and
tired of
Michael.
walking around all morning probably.
That'll be
One
the same.
thing though, I'm so glad it's not raining today because it would be a total mess to try to film this. But if it did rain, this is the waterproof uniform. It also covers up the bag and device, and if
Thought it
she
was
wants,
muted.
it can convert to short sleeves. So her afternoon task is to visit
Let me
clients
see.
to perform sales activities. Time to suit up again.
ちょっと時間が空いたので。
Momento, por favor. Oh, shoot.
「習慣するまでに営業に行ってきま
Always
す。
it's me. Fine, he's fine.
So she goes back out on the same route to approach some clients.
外に置いてある7個口の荷物、発送の荷物。そうです。あ、実は佐川急便チャーターっていうシステムの輸送。
So Sagawa now has a charter shipping service where you can purchase a full pallet and send anything you want as long as it fits. It's a useful
hit that
service when you have lots of stuff or large items.
ありがとうございます。
I'm good.
Now she goes back around on the same delivery route and picks up outgoing packages and does more sales for new services.
Like such.
When she sees a package laying in
I
front of
wish
the
I could
store
fucking
all
live
alone
there.
like
This
this,
looks
it
so
indicates
nice.
a new pickup. She checks for the Sagawa label. If so, she collects the package, provides the customer with a delivery receipt, and then creates a delivery label on her device.
If I could
Fortunately
live
for the
there, I'd
sender
just
and
wake
the
up at like
delivery person,
5 a.m. just to
leaving
walk around,
unattended
dude.
packages in front of the store is relatively safe in
I'd walk
Japan.
everywhere, dude. ありがとう。
Basically, we're walking around right now, picking up all of the packages from different clients. Her neighborhood is set, so she goes around kind of like on a set path. But if she wanted to, she can actually pick up different packages from different locations.
こんにちは、佐川ケビンです
Are you connected to the government? Huh?
お世話お願いします
Yeah, dude, I'm stealing your data right now as we speak.
She now takes up the picked up packages and loads them into a waiting delivery truck.
I have your location right now.
She says her job is very
I have your
teamwork
credit card
focused, which
info.
she loves, and in
Thank
between
you.
deliveries, she
Smile.
enjoys chatting with her coworkers.
楽しいですチームプレー感がすごいです
Where are you headed now?
あ、もうここから帰ります
Now that she's done with her delivery task for her
Okay.
assigned area, she has to head back to the
Go
main
get dinner,
office.
shoulder.
Wow, she's doing another safety check even in a public parking space. Amazing.
$5:30 p.m. and it's nighttime? What the fuck?
It seems like a lot of Sagawa drivers are back as well. After she brings the van back, she needs to perform a final tenko. By law, these records are kept for 1 year.
乗務点呼お願いいたします社員番号709661評価2係細田そうですお疲れ様です
So
I
before she
need
leaves today, she
caffeine.
also
It's
has
late.
to do quite a bit of
But it's early for you. Go get a
So
coffee.
let's see what she
You
has.
deserve it.
今点呼終わってあとは入金
Burb. Okay, go get your coffee.
総裁する作業です
Have it double.
Basically, she needs to take care of the cash accounting as well. For example, cash on delivery transactions she received today, as well as parking
No.
fees she's paid. Yay! Finally done. Do you have any plans after this?
それから今日の夕飯の買い物に行きますお疲れ様です
She's stopping by a supermarket on the way back. Wow, it's pretty massive comparatively speaking for Tokyo terms. You're not buying so much?
家にちょっと材料があるので少しだけ
The timer. What's that?
いただきます
Yasuho,
I
what
forgot.
did you cook?
これはジャーマンハニーです
What's that?
Many younger generations these days just buy food at the convenience store to take home and eat, but Yasuho likes to cook and it's cheaper and healthier.
Babe.
So she just finished taking a bath. She has about an hour free time.
She goes to sleep, he's still there. She wakes up, he's still there.
A day in the life of a Japanese delivery person. What do you guys think?
She's gonna hallucinate him for the rest of her life.
On the daily, then definitely check out my Instagram account. If you guys want to help support the channel, then check out the Tokyo merch. And I recently created a Discord channel for people who love Japan or people that are traveling to Japan.
Oh,
to get their questions
yeah,
answered.
yeah,
I'll
I-
leave all of the links
wanted
in
to
the
watch this
description
on
as
stream.
usual. And I have so many
I
more
didn't watch
day
the
in the life
first
to
video.
come. So if
I
you
don't
want
wanna
to check
rewatch
those
it again 'cause
videos out,
I remember it.
hit that subscribe button and the bell button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Wait, let's wait. Because I know Francie likes corpse party, so I'll wait until Francie's here and we can watch this. Hey, Lorenzo! Also, yeah, I bought Corpse Party and I want to play that. But I don't know if I should wait until October for the scary games. Yee, my phone! Hey, Mom. I don't know if I should wait until October for scary game. I just play. My mom's call. Give me like 5 minutes. I'll be on Burb, and then we'll watch it. Give me a second. Not that yet. Also, hi guys. Shut the fuck up, yo yo. Shut up. I literally just came. I saw the message popping up. Shut up. How about you come on VC and tell it to my face? Huh? You won't. Photosensitive, epilepsy, strong animated violence, sudden loud noises, absolute brim with spoilers. Shit. It's fine. I'll probably forget it by then. Smile. Be warned.
You're a bad streamer.
Shut the fuck
Bad
up.
streamer. Bad streamer.
I love. It's a VTuber.
If it hasn't been made blatantly obvious by the topics I cover on the main channel and the games that I play on the second channel, the horror genre is a special one to me because horror games evoke a feeling that a lot of genres can't do, which is to instill fear in your tiny little heart. Something pops up on the screen that shouldn't and the poor thing just explodes. In recent years though, it seems like the genre has gotten a little stale and boring, especially in the land of the AAA. Name a genuinely good AAA horror game that was released in the last 3 years. Exactly, it's emptier than my own channel. I will stand by the notion that the last good AAA horror game that wasn't a remake was Resident Evil 7, and since then the genre has been cursed. Sure, there were a couple of games here and there released to the public, but most of them range from bad to mid. But why is this? I mean, it should be relatively easy.
I'm fucking muted. My bad. I'm sorry. It. Yeah, we're watching this shit. It. I was waiting for you to come back. My dumbass was muted for like 2 minutes. Fucking wait. It. Wait, I'll wait for you. We will wait for Frenzy. Just even shake my head. I am appealing to my viewers, yo. What's up? Is there anything? Gordak? Is there something? Oh, Burb. Take your time, take your time. We can watch something else. Let me see what I find. Sure, I have some. Dude, has anyone seen that like 6-hour long Victoria's documentary? 50 M's? Oh, I love their hair. You have a little tooth. You have a little tooth fang. Hey, wait. Good. Oh. We go from one British person to another British person, yes. Happy to bring you with me, woo! We're gonna beat up your, what's the word I'm looking for? Roommates, yeah, let's go beat them up, woo! We go from one British to another
the sun
British.
Is shining, the birds.
Shut the fuck up.
And gosh, what a wonderful day. The sun is shining, the birds are singing. And now it's time to read some comments on YouTube. You look like every white guy that moves to Japan. This guy's not a filmmaker. He's a mediocre YouTuber. Bro,
Oh,
your
fuck,
stomach
capital E
like
color.
Mount Fuji now. Oh, I'm really looking forward to this Q&A. Yeah.
Oh, dude. Okay, question. Does anyone else watch Trash
So
Taste?
this month marks the
And is anyone else
incredible
obsessed with
10-year
Trash Taste as much
anniversary
as
of
I
the
am?
Raw in Japan channel, a milestone I never thought I would hit. And I thought, what better way to celebrate than doing
Because I want
a
to do
Q&A, given the
Trash
last one was
Taste,
2 years ago now. Answering
watch-alongs.
questions you guys have sent in about life in Japan, culture, YouTube, whatever. With personal stories and experiences of mine thrown in that I've never talked about. And so without further ado, let's dive in. Chris, if you could give a message to everyone in Japan right now, what would it be? And can it please be, open the
Oh,
country?
Trash Taste fan?
I've
Dude, I
got
have an
flights booked for
unhealthy
early
obsession with
November.
Trash Taster.
I think my message would be, let's open Japan.
Go
But
ahead.
I know what the
Just open
Japanese
it.
government's message certainly is, and that is shut
Drink
up
more.
and drink more alcohol. That's official Japanese
Dude, that's
government
insane to me.
policy as of this week in a desperate bid to improve the economy. The Japanese government is
Just
encouraging
go
younger
drink more
generations
forehead.
to actively drink
What's
more
gonna fix the
alcohol. In
economy? You
1980,
just drink
the
more
Japanese
forehead.
government got 5% of its total revenue
Foreigners? What the
from
fuck are
tax
those?
on alcohol sales. Now in 2020,
They don't
that
speak the
figure is
Nihongo,
just
don't let 'em in,
1.7%.
forehead.
It's not just the trend that younger people are drinking less, it's also Japan's demographic time bomb. You know, the population is shrinking rapidly. So I can understand the concern to some extent, and it's really sad to think lots of great sake companies around the country are going to go under as a result of this. Companies that have been there for hundreds of years in some cases. But I'll certainly be doing my part, because today, without any degree of irony, the sponsor of this video is Tipsy, with a box full of the finest sake in all of Japan. What a great way to celebrate 10 years. I think the biggest problem with sake is knowing where to start and where to find the best varieties. And Tipsy does it all for you. With a monthly subscription, beautifully curated booklet and postcards, $10 off your third. Enjoy that sake, and from this Hinoki, 50 varieties of sakeware on 10% off. Eating girls. It comes from Fukuoka. Wonderful, sweet, fragrant scent. It says, Chris, was there any place... Oh yes, very good indeed. Cookie says, Chris, was there any place in Japan that scared you too much to do a video on it? So over the years, we've been to some pretty eerie, messed up locations around Japan. For example, the abandoned shipyard with Connor and Natsuki last year, the abandoned island, Gunkanjima, an incredible place, never seen anywhere quite like it, and the abandoned love hotel, where we had to censor pretty much the entire interior just because there was so much
You have to dark
disturbing
videos
shit
you
in
uploaded
there.
earlier.
Over the last year, I've had this obsession.
The
with
VOD? I was
breakdowns,
watching it
literally
before starting
abandoned
stream, but I couldn't finish it.
there's something both
The
poignant
wine
and,
taste? I wanna
you
watch
know,
that.
eerie and uncomfortable about going in these places and seeing what nature can do to a building once it's left to its own devices. Going through these locations, it's almost like playing The Last of Us, but in real life. And there's one place I've always wanted to visit, but I think it could genuinely be a little bit too risky, to be honest. In the mountains of central Hokkaido, there's an abandoned school known as the Round Schoolhouse, by virtue of the fact that it's round. But it was built about a century ago and abandoned in 1974 when the nearby mining town actually closed down and all the students left. And I mean, just look at the photo. That is not a building that you should probably set foot in anytime soon. And it's claimed to
$5,000
have
LA,
a lot of
give or take.
paranormal activity. People always report seeing and hearing things. There's supposed to be some sort of poltergeist in there. But unusual phenomenon aside, I'm much more concerned about the fact that this location is right in the middle of bear territory. And not just any bear, the gigantic, terrifying Hokkaido brown bear that can rip a human to shreds. And whenever I look this place up online,
And he's
there's always
disappearing.
warnings
What you buy?
saying, don't go here, you will be
What'd you do?
savaged by bears. You know, simply put, for that to happen, that would be unbearable. And unbearable. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
You do.
But bears, combined with the sheer inaccessibility of the area, kind of make it feel like it's just one risk not worth taking. And yet, funnily enough, in a few days' time, it turns out I'm going to be about 10 kilometres from that school because I'm doing a cycle with Connor for about a week across Hokkaido.
I'm
And
still on day one of the. I'm still watching the VOD for day one, and I'm loving like halfway there.
Me off, the idea of
Even on
feeding
2
him to
times
the
speed.
bear at an abandoned school becomes a very tempting prospect indeed. Right,
Oh, how to
next.
click. Bro,
Show
ask
us
Yo-Yo
3
to
photos you've
teach
never
you.
shown the internet before. Why does this sound so seedy
Yo-Yo
and sadistic?
in
But be careful what you wish
so
for.
mean ass
Photo number
food, bro.
1 is Charlotte. Oh my god, look at that horrifying imagery. Worse
Put
than
it on
anything
speaker
out
on
of the
your
lines of
kitchen and you're
Stephen King.
good.
That's image number 1. Image number 2
Back here,
is some
Quincy.
fantastic artwork I saw inside a toilet in Kyoto, warning people to lock the toilet door. Make sure you lock the door. Oh no! I love this photo for 2 reasons. Number 1, the expression. The expressions on their face, absolutely priceless. Captures the sheer horror of
Fam is
someone
going to
walking
work.
in on you while you're on the toilet. And number 2, I just love the dramatic, oh no!
Gremlin now is poggers?
It feels like,
Question
you
mark,
know,
maybe?
I can't work out
Good
if
scream?
that's kind of a, oh no, sarcastic, or
Your
if
mom
it's
is
a
dropping a
full-blown,
care pack
oh
on Friday.
no, oh my god, this is terrible, I
Comfort.
should have locked the door. I don't know, but I love that. It's quite a fun thing to see in the toilet. Makes me also wonder, do people just not lock the door in that toilet? What's going on there? And image number 3 is what it would look like if I had a child with Elon Musk. Oh my goodness. Not great, not terrible. 4 out of 10. Could be a lot worse, to be fair. Happy 10 years, Chris. The production quality for the most recent Journey Across Japan episodes has been incredible. Have you ever thought of creating your own Netflix documentary or similar? Well, thank you very much for the kind words to you, Smelly Man Cheese. What a wonderful name.
It's all
But it is, in fact, my dream to produce my own take on A Christmas Carol. Because I love Christmas. It's my favourite time of year. And I love The Christmas Carol.
Favorite Christmas movie. Go
Should
now,
I dedicate
chat.
the entirety of November to producing a Broad Japan Christmas Carol?
Fucking British. We went from one fucking British person to another.
Excuse to do it. But I think there's this
Fucking
assumption,
oh,
because I
oh.
do put a lot of effort into production quality on Abroad in Japan, that I want to be making stuff for Netflix or BBC. And it's true, I do. I absolutely do. Please give me money. Please, let's go. But in all seriousness, I do like producing things on YouTube. I have complete creative control and an established audience, and it seems kind of weird to want to walk away from that and do something else. But the day might come. But first things first, Abroad Japan Christmas Carol. Let's make it happen. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt it necessary to distance yourself from a certain aspect of Japanese culture or society, either due to personal beliefs and or just disagreeing with it?
People can be
One of the most
weird
difficult
over there.
aspects of learning Japanese
It's
and
safe,
mastering the
but
language is actually
can be weird.
the mindset and the etiquette and the way you have to speak and act in public. For example, in Japan, people are very kind of overly positive. Everything has to be praised, and there's a lot of superlatives used to sort of describe everything, right? Whether it's sugoi, or the most overused word in the Japanese language, sugoi, literally incredible or amazing. You hear it so many times on Japanese television. Or oishii, umai, like delicious, amazing, incredible. Every time you eat something, you have to sort of praise it blindly in front of other people. You have to sort of say, oh, it's incredible, it's this, it's that, it's the other. To the point that you don't know when someone truly believes what they're saying or
I hate
thinking.
hearing
right? And there's no
aggressive
better
thesis.
example
Dude, you've
of this
never
than
heard
on
my dad
Japanese
then.
television,
Holy shit,
which
my
I
dad
talked about
fucking
previously.
screamed.
It's so goddamn boring because the presenters just
My
sort of
uncle
blindly
fucking
praise everything they
screams
see.
when he
It's
sneezes.
not like British TV.
My sister's
where
tiny as
people are
fuck, but
inherently
she
negative or
screams.
critical. Maybe to some extent too far. And for me personally, I find it really actually
fucking
painfully
war.
difficult to constantly be like, oh my god, it's amazing, sugoi, oishi, saiko, delicious, brilliant. Like all these superlatives, I just don't like doing it, and I find that really hard to do. But you have to do it, otherwise you come off as kind of incredibly rude or crass.
It's
If
fucking
the
war.
chef goes, oh, you know, Chris-san, do desu ka? How is it? How's this dish? I can't be like, oh, it's pretty good, but it needs more pepper. I'm fucking killing
It's
it.
Choto
Because
shit.
that's really rude. You have to be like, oh my god, it's better than fucking The Last Supper. It's the best thing I've ever had, times 10 squared. Yes, please, do it again, in my mouth. Like, you have to literally be like that. Like, you might have seen a sketch I did a few years ago where I pretended to be like a Japanese YouTuber. And it might come across as though I'm exaggerating, but I'm really not. That is genuinely what a lot of Japanese YouTubers are like. I watched them to basically copy them for that sketch. Here's an excerpt of that if you missed it. すごい本当にびっくり超うめえこのポテトチップス今までこんなうまいポテトチップス食べたことないす
Abe your tiny eating time. Ooh, I get it.
It was incredibly painful to act like this. I can't do it. Chris, I've always been curious about the process behind your videos, especially the cinematography. They always turn out so gorgeous and breathtaking. So my question is, what's the thought process behind taking the
best
perfect
cycle.
shot? Ah, yes, gorgeous
It's
and
fucking
breathtaking indeed. Ugh. To be fair, it makes me slightly depressed to think the most cinematic video I've ever produced is
Another
just Connor
language?
on the roof
Japanese?
of Senai Station doing
I wanna
a
learn it
silly
properly.
Batman voice.
What the fuck?
It's not what it used to be.
But I think a good image should be able to tell a story or set up an exposition in a way that words never could. And honestly, it's my favourite part of a video, trying to find that shot. For example, the opening shot of the Fukushima documentary starts with an abandoned pharmacy that's completely overgrown, and then it pans out slowly to reveal that it's sealed off due to contamination. And it's an ominous setup that basically sets the tone for the entire documentary. And some of the drone shots I'm most proud of in Hokkaido during winter, you can really get a sense of the isolation and remoteness of Japan's most northern point and the other
Contaminated with radiation, and I went in.
And my
Now
general
I'm dead.
rule is to try and use as few shots as possible to tell a
What do
story.
you say?
Not only that, but I have certain shots in mind before I start filming. The last 2 seasons of Journey Across Japan, before I even really knew what I was doing, I kind of envisioned the trailer, right, and what that would look like. For example, I knew I wanted to capture the sheer scale of the abandoned islands in Kyushu, and I was really proud of this shot, pulling back to reveal what looks like a post-apocalyptic city. I remember I took that shot and I showed it to everyone that was there, like Natsuki and Joey, and they went, oh yeah. And I was like, no, look at the fucking shot, it's amazing, it's the best thing I've ever done. Nobody appreciates these things. So I had these shots in mind and went out of my way to sort of execute them during the shoot. And for me, it's the highlight of shooting a video. That's the bit that I enjoy the most. Is there a series or video you've always wanted to do but couldn't justify because of the YouTube algorithm? Abroad in a Pan, a cooking series where I go into the homes of friends and family and inadvertently burn down their kitchen while attempting to cook an omelette. Honestly though, maybe 60% of my ideas go sort of in the bin, just because I know they won't do very well on YouTube, which is a depressing fact and a depressing statistic, but you know, sometimes I get criticised
got no
for
food for
thumbnails
me.
and titles of Abroad in Japan videos. They're a bit
Yes.
clickbaity, right? And I hate my thumbnails
can I
and
help you
titles more
today?
than probably anyone. I don't want to constantly be pulling an expression in my thumbnails that looks like I've just sat down on a pile of knives. And yet, that's the rules of the game. Like having that face, the wow face, like, that is what gets views.
Okay, we
I
can
don't
do
know
those
why,
after
the
watching the
human eye
corpse body
gravitates
thing.
to that, people click on it, that's the way the cookie crumbles. I haven't used that expression since 2002. Like, I hate the title of the most recent Abroad in Japan video. I rented a $3,000 private villa, blah, blah, blah.
Dude,
With
that villa is
thumbnail,
so
I hate all of
good.
that. In an ideal world, it would have been called
Dude,
Journey Across Japan, Escape to
pause.
Paradise.
Oh, I need to. I don't know if anyone's seen this, but holy shit, that villa looks so fucking. Where is it? That villa looks insane.
Like
I can live there.
out here. Incredibly dirty, sunburnt. I feel so out of place. My clothes are covered in dirt from all the.
Get him, man.
What's on?
Dude,
Now,
look
over the
at this
years, I've been
place.
incredibly lucky to stay at some of Japan's most spectacular hotels. But honestly, nothing could prepare me for
Dude,
this
look at
villa.
that. Dude, look at that. It's so good. I want to live there so bad.
Huge, lavish,
Thanks, Desk.
and surrounding
Why?
our
Thank you for the
sprawling
look, yo, yo.
private pool. Stumbling inside, covered in dirt. It almost feels like we're breaking into a sultan's palace. So I had the fun task of getting all the luggage off the buggy and hiding it around the room. I've had a
Okay. Go back.
episode 2 or day 2, right? Like you would on a TV series, right? But because every video lives and dies by the click-through rate,
Did you see what I
you
said?
can't
Are you
do
asking
that.
me?
You have to have those
Oh, yeah,
20 annoying clickbait titles. You have to constantly adapt to the YouTube algorithm, and that is kind of the reason I think Abroad in Japan has survived.
said about
after
thing is
10
happening.
long
I wanna see
years
so
of
bad.
Constantly adapting to that algorithm. Chris, what's your plan to convince the Trash Taste Trio to make you their 4th official member? The 4th official member. What am I going to do? I'm going to threaten them. I'm going to threaten them with violence.
Why the village is not used to pro kids swim?
Let's see what you have to say for yourself now.
I'll give you some floaties.
I can't do it, Chris. It can't be done, okay? Let me out of here.
Let's see what you have to say after another 24 hours. Congratulations on the 10-year milestone, Chris. What is a soap brand?
Yeah, I said, you can cook.
Well, simply put, it's a place where soap is made and manufactured to the highest of standards. And there's absolutely no reason to doubt that it is,
First
in
party
fact,
after this, yes.
anything else. Anything far more sinister than that. Ken Watanabe has been your goal for many years, and since you accomplished it, what is your next big goal? You know, it sounds kind of ridiculous, but after I did the Ken Watanabe documentary, something I joked about and dreamed about doing for 10 years, I kind of had this sort of emptiness.
Shorter, but
I realised that I'd done something that I didn't think I'd ever be able to sort of do again, having that like long-term goal. And for a few months, I tried to work out what it was that I wanted to do.
Shit.
And then a few months ago, I got my health report, my Kinkel Shindan, which I revealed in a previous video, results of which were nothing short of appalling and really quite bad. And that kind of kick-started the next few months of what I plan to do on Abroad in Japan, which is put physical and mental well-being at the absolute core of everything I do. Like, I do have lots of big goals that I want to do, but I'm not ready for them because I don't feel I'm disciplined enough right now. I'm not happy with the state of my health. I'm tired of being the butt of many jokes, particularly my own fucking jokes, and roasting myself.
When I get back, of course.
But I'm 32 years old. I'm worried I'm going to wake up tomorrow and be 40, and I'll have spent the entirety of my 30s being overweight, not healthy, not feeling great, and not really pushing myself or doing anything good. And that's why I'm about to embark on 4 months of serious kind of physical challenges, starting next week with the 700-kilometer cycle across Hokkaido with
I need to finish that VOD.
Whether I'll succeed or not remains to be seen. But in the run-up to that and some other challenges I've got lined up, I have been training pretty relentlessly over the last few weeks. And to prove I'm not bluffing, look, here's some footage of me actually training and looking like I'm doing something good. But if I survive the upcoming challenges, and some of them are pretty dangerous and dicey, then I genuinely think I'll be able to take on anything next year and beyond that. And hopefully I can inspire...
Every day I wake up, I think my metabolism that I'm not a fat
ass. Well. But if you want to see the full training montage that I just showed you, stick around to the end of the video and you can check it out there in its entirety. And witness me attempting to become the Karate Kid. How do you find time to moonlight on the UCLA men's basketball?
This line is long.
And
dude,
this
where
is
are we?
precisely why I need to raise my game. It's pretty difficult doing this.
Strangers?
And also being on the UCLA men's basketball.
Strangers!
Jokes aside, I genuinely thought this was me when I first saw it. I thought someone had photoshopped.
Strangers!
What a
Someone wants to order
handsome young man
food.
he is. Have most
Get the
Japanese
fuck out of our
citizens
way.
been more on the happy,
break your
sad,
kneecaps.
upset, or don't even care side regarding not seeing foreign travellers freely visiting and roaming their country for 3 years now? At this rate, our Japan trip in October might become a career trip. Crying awkwardly face. The Japanese attitude towards the absence of foreigners has been frighteningly ambivalent. Like, most people really don't care or even notice. Like, if you ask most people, they don't even know that foreign tourists aren't allowed here right now. Or they kind of suspect they are, because the Japanese media has sort of said you can come here as a foreign tourist, albeit on essentially a North Korean style tour where you have to come in a group with a minder guiding you around a predetermined tour, and a tour that unsurprisingly hasn't been at all popular. I don't really know who the fuck would want to come on that. It seems like the worst way to enjoy and experience Japan. There's no discovery involved, right? Like, imagine being on a tour group in Kyoto, beautiful city. Oh, I want to go and see that temple over there, the Kiyomizu-dera temple. No, you can't. We've got to go to the predetermined salmon restaurant and eat the salmon that's been determined that you have to eat on the tour. Fuck, it sounds awful. Like, recently there's been some incredibly confusing news where you can actually come into Japan, I think from September, on a solo tour, but you have to book it through a travel agency, and again, you have to have a predetermined route that you're doing. And people don't want to do that, and it's just confusing, so people aren't going to come. But let's rewind a little bit. Why is Japan still closed after 2 very long years and the only G7 country to actually still be shut? And it really comes down to politics. 29% of Japan's population are aged 65 or older. They are vulnerable, of course, to the virus. But beyond that, there's a bigger factor, and that is they are the people most likely to vote.
They had like the highest cases in COVID in Japan.
Doesn't want to lose votes
with like no foreigners
to that massive voter base. And
then they were
the
blaming
current
foreigners.
government has been generally pretty popular for having this policy in place, keeping the country closed. And I think they know that the moment they open the country, they're going to lose a lot of that popularity. And that is the main reason. So initially it was out of caution, and now it's more out of politics. And then there's been a recent uptake in the number of COVID cases in Japan. So they kind of extended it even longer. But as I said, a lot of people don't know that foreign tourists aren't allowed into the country, apart from the hospitality industry, which has been absolutely battered beyond recognition the last 2 years.
There's this one video I want to watch later.
Enterprises around the country,
But it'd be so cool to show
like
you.
hotels, hostels, restaurants that have gone under as a result of this policy. And if you look at cities like Kyoto, which are actually going into bankruptcy at the moment because of the massive loss in revenue from foreign tourists, the people of Kyoto have a really kind of complex and strange relationship with foreign tourists. Like tourists bring in millions to the local economy every year. At the same time, the locals hate the fact that things get overcrowded. The buses are difficult to use. Restaurants are full. I can attest to the fact that I like Kyoto a lot more when there aren't many tourists.
Dude,
the last
please
2
do
years,
that.
I've been going there
love
far
that.
more than I've ever gone before Japan was closed. And it's been really quite incredible, so I can understand it to some extent. And for me personally, it has changed my image on Japan, watching it adopt this sort of really tough isolationist policy over the last 2.5 years. Like early on in the first year, people that were residents in Japan but not citizens,
Are we allowed to
if we left Japan, we couldn't come back into the country, which I found just incomprehensibly ridiculous. And it alienated a lot of foreign residents that I know who kind of lived here and called Japan home all these years. And it can seem pretty unfair that Japanese tourists, Japanese citizens can travel the world, go wherever they want, but people aren't allowed to come here.
20 minutes before the place
Meanwhile, the
closes and I'm
Japanese
still
economy
like
is
breaking
taking a
line.
nasty hit. The
Start
yen
punching people.
is at a record low at the moment, borderline
Commit crime.
worthless at this point.
Arson.
And again, what better time for people to come into the country, tourists, and spend billions of dollars and take advantage of that cheap yen? They could quickly turn things to their advantage. The good news is, I do think there are some indications that Japan will fully reopen to tourists before the end of this year, without the horrific guided tours being escorted around by minders. I think you'll be able to come here as an individual
Slap
and
their
explore
butt
the
cheeks.
country
I mean, what?
freely. So, fingers crossed, hold me to it, let's see what happens. A while ago on the podcast, you mentioned giving a class at Temple University in Tokyo.
Get out.
What was that experience
Slash their
like?
tires.
So last year, and about 2-3 years ago, I did a workshop on teaching YouTube, filmmaking stuff. Things that I know what I'm talking about for once. You know, I kind of know what I'm doing, generally, with YouTube. And it was a lot of fun teaching that, right? But during that class, they took a photo of me teaching, and now, literally, every single day, I get maybe 20 to 30 messages from people saying, Chris, is this you in this photo? Is that you? I can't...
This is propaganda. No one's this fucking happy in a class, dude.
Teaching, and
anyways,
now, literally, every single day,
put water
I
in their
get
gas
maybe 20 to 30 messages from people
throw in a
saying,
light,
Chris,
a match
is
while
this
you're
you
at
in
it.
this photo? Is that you? I can't work it out. What are you
Just
doing
a little
teaching
fire.
in a room?
Be
Yes,
fine.
it is me. Yes, I do look kind
They can
of
walk
good
it off.
in that photo. I actually quite like that photo. But I wish I didn't have to see it every single day, 30 times. At least in the photo, I do look fairly affable, and that's the main thing, right? My son is wanting to be a YouTuber. How do you recommend getting started?
Dude, okay, I need to pause this for a second. So yesterday during my fucking morning class, it's like the first week, so everyone's introducing themselves and shit. So this one guy, he's like smiling, fucking talking to everyone. He thinks he's like the type of dude who thinks he's the shit, right? And he's like introducing himself. He's like, "Oh, I'm sure everyone already knows me in here, and I'm still gonna introduce myself, even though everyone already knows everything about me here. I'm still gonna introduce myself." I was sitting like right behind him. I was rolling my fucking down. I was like, "Oh my god." Anyways.
Don't do it. Tell them to get a proper job. Fucking YouTubers making videos in their bedrooms. Disgusting. Disgraceful. Honestly, unless he really likes making videos or he's a raging narcissist, I'm not sure it's a good idea. Fortunately, I fit into both of those categories beforehand. But I think too many people fall in love with the idea of being an influencer, right? A good friend of mine is a fantastic photographer. I asked him once, like, what is it you want to do? Where do you want to go from here? And he said that you wanted to become an influencer. And I fucking hate that. I hate the word influencer. I hate everything it stands for. Because it's kind of like you're overlooking the craft that goes behind it, right? Don't be an influencer. Be a filmmaker. Be a videographer. Be a photographer. Be an artist.
Be a
anything.
VTuber.
Work on a skill set. Even
Become an anime person.
C.VA is a good voice actor. Underneath it all, he's a good voice actor fundamentally. Take a passion in the craft first and foremost. You know, I get the appeal when you go on TikTok or Instagram and see these influencers splashing around on their private yachts. Lucky bastards, I hate them. But long before I did YouTube, you know, I used to make videos with my friends on my little camcorder. Probably from the age of about 12. And by the age of 14, I'd self-taught myself how to edit. And so that was kind of where my trajectory began with filmmaking and YouTube. I never thought that I would make.
It's like
a
you see
living
the
from it,
person and
the
you know
first 5 years of
you're gonna
doing it,
hate them.
I absolutely didn't. I had to subsidize it by working as a teacher and taking on jobs on the side, like working as a reasonably priced hitman. So I'd say tell your son to look beyond the idea of being a YouTuber per se and focus on being a filmmaker, a commentator.
And this guy, the same dude, I was like right behind him. He's like, he turns around to talk to me and he's like, oh, you look like this one character from this one movie I saw. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm just like ignoring him a little. And then he like, I don't know, 30 minutes later, he pulls out his phone, looks up the character, and he's like, look, it looks like you. It's some random ass dude with like big glasses and a black hair who looks nothing like me. I'm like, oh yeah, that's yeah, cool. Just like not into it at all. It's so fucking weird. Anyways,
a voice artist, anything, and then using YouTube as the platform to sort of live out and channel that passion into something. Hopefully that makes sense. Good luck. And now it's time.
I was
for Hate Man of the
racially
Week,
profiled.
my favourite.
Go fuck yourself.
This man looks like the type of guy that can easily get scammed. I mean, look at his face. That's the end of that bit.
Wait.
Go fuck yourself.
I'm gonna turn that into a soundbite. Give me a second. Give me 2 minutes. I'm gonna turn that into a sound. Where's my sound alerts? I just need the MP4 share.
Gosh, what a wonderful day. The sun. Hate Mail of the Week. My
23 minutes and 33 seconds. Okay. It's gonna take a bit to download. It's like 30%. Okay. I'm like I'm stalling a little so that we can watch the video, the corpse party video with Solar and Frenzy. So we got the nuggies. Let's go. Start turning it to a sound. Yeah, it's easy. Just download the video and just like edit it for a second and then you're good. So you can cook? I can cook. I haven't cooked in a while because my sister just hates doing dishes, so if one of us cooks, the other one does dishes. So she just beats me to it because she hates dishes. She can cook really well.
Gosh, what a wonderful day.
Get up, British man. Trim. Yes. Then we make this smaller. 23, 30. About here. Okay. Save as. Go fuck yourself. That's not how you spell it, but that'll work. You both can? Yeah, I never said I couldn't. How do I sounds? Upload? Create new sound. Where is the thing? Where is the fucking is it this? gave you editor, didn't I? Huh? Wait, did I not? Let me see. Oh wait, where is it? I have it. I thought I had you. Community. Rose. Yes. Francie. Yeah, you're an editor. Can editors not use the shadow? And now drive. Be careful. Please and thank you.
Go fuck yourself.
Okay.
This man.
Go fuck yourself.
I was gonna take out the little like jingles at the beginning, but it just adds to it, I think.
Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
It's so stupid. I love it. Go fuck yourself. Can I put fuck in the thing? Let me. I can't spell. Fuck yourself. It's not censored. Let's go. And then alert, and then channel points, and then wait, never mind. My alerts, sounds, my uploads. It's probably gonna be loud as fuck, so I should probably edit it. Not channel points. Yeah. Add. And then I have to edit the shit out of this. Otherwise, it's gonna blow my ears out. Where is it? It's not showing a refresh. Because I'm live. But channel point. Data reject by Twitch. Okay. Makes sense. That makes sense. Go fun yourself. Go fun yourself. Yes. Go fun yourself. I came into that. Should I leave? No, Z. I'm just making a new sound alert. Oh, now it's working. Now it's working. Yeah, I could put the word fuck in it.
Go fuck yourself.
Is that loud? Save. I think it should be working now. Save. Okay. Anyone want to test it out? 500 channel points. Anyone?
Go fuck yourself.
Anyway, let's finish the video, and then we can watch
This
the
man
corpse
looks
party
like the
thing.
type of guy that
I'm
can
hungry.
easily get scammed. I mean, look at his face.
Let's go. Oh
That's the
shit!
end of
Wait,
that
let me
bit.
close this.
Go fuck yourself.
And lastly, Matthew says, I can never think of any questions to ask at times like these. What's a question you want to be asked but never are? I suppose that will be my question. Well, Matthew, I would like to be asked questions about philosophy, life, death, existence, meaning. I never get asked any of these questions on any Q&A. I've got 3,000 questions for this
Pass
Q&A.
them around. I'm having a good time.
Half of them.
I'm right there with you.
Didn't see any, so that's a shame.
Hope your classes go well.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to answer it now out of spite. But thank you so much, guys, for watching. As always, as promised, I'm about to share my 80s fitness montage with you. Check it out.
We don't need to
Proves
see
that.
that.
I am getting fit. I don't.
We don't need to see the sweaty British man, do we? Okay, let's wait for Solar and then we watch the corpse party video. close this without breaking everything. It's funny how I was supposed to do work, but I didn't. I'm almost done. Oh no, that's already there. Corpse Party video. It's like an hour-long documentary on a game called Corpse Party. I want to watch it. And Frenzy really wants to watch it, so I was waiting for Frenzy. And Solar's gonna join us, so I'm waiting for Solar. What's Corpse Party? It's like a horror video game. I bought it and I really want to play it. And I've already seen it, so I don't mind the spoilers. It's an anime and but it's based on a game. And it's really good. It's like horror, but it's like gory as shit, and it's scary as fuck, and I love it. It's so good. Think of the anime Another, but like to 11. Have you seen the anime? Yes, dude. I saw the anime after watching the game. So the no spoilers, but like the ending threw me off. I was like, what? I was confused. I watch it every October. Can we do like a watch along? Can we do that? Pretty sure I can close this pod. Don't break. You watch playthroughs first? Yeah. I watched PewDiePie play it. That's why I know the game. I watched PewDiePie back in like 2014 play that, and it was so fun. What genre is it? Horror, pixel, Japanese. It's a Japanese game. Horror, anime. Same. Haven't watched it. It's really good. Horror, gory. That's a game in anime. That's for me. Can't watch blood well. It's fine. Right after high school. Yeah, dude.
Jay.
Wait, let me turn you up.
Join the other one.
Which one's the other one?
The stream one, ding dong.
I'm not on stream?
No, you're
I'm stupid. Okay, hello.
Hello.
Well, at least that didn't happen. At least I'm good.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Hello. How are you?
Hi.
Let me turn you up a little.
I think my roommates were like talking shit about somebody, so when I came home, they thought it was that person they were talking about.
They got scared?
Yeah. But I'm gonna use the bathroom, okay? You can start whenever, I don't care.
Okay. Is it good? It's really good. It has a shit ton of blood. Okay, let's video it. Frenzy. You ready?
Relatively easy to make a horror.
Does it have anything happening to people's necks? Yes. And a lot of things. It's like squishy sloshy. Wait, let me pause the music.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back. Oh, let me stream it on Discord as well, so you don't have the delay.
Okay. Well, how do I... Oh, I forget, I'm not streaming, I can't pop out chat. Yay. Watch.
Let me... Okay. Warning!
Hi, friend.
People, photosensitive, epilepsy, animated violence, loud noises. Please and thank you. Also spoilers. Smile. How's your nuggies?
Or ASMR. I just got them, so I don't know. They're probably good. Yeah, we'll see.
If it hasn't been made blatantly obvious by the topics I cover on the main channel
Oh,
and
I
the
love
games
it
that
when
I
all the
play on the
fries
second channel,
just
the horror genre
empty
is a special
themselves
one
in the
to me
bag.
because horror games evoke a feeling that a lot of
Amazing.
genres can't do, which
Makes
is
my
to
little
instill
monkey brain
fear in
happy.
your tiny little heart. Something pops up on the screen
I
that
just want
shouldn't,
them
and the
all to
poor
be
thing
in
just
one
explodes.
place.
In recent years, though, it
I
seems
like
like
horror
the
movies
genre has
too.
gotten a little
Dude, I wanna
stale
watch
and
more.
boring,
I've been on a horror
especially
kick
in the
lately.
land of the
Dude, I can't
AAA.
see it.
Name a
You can't see
Forehead.
it?
genuinely good
You
AAA
can't see
horror
it? What
game
the fuck? Why?
Did you click on the video? Are you streaming in the right window?
Yes.
Hmm.
I always have.
Hmm.
Aw. Could be.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I can't see it. It's okay. I'll just be behind.
No, I refuse. How do I fix that? I always have this issue.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Where's Frenzy? Is he not joining?
Frenzy, are you joining us?
Yeah.
Do I need to be full screen for this?
Yes.
Oh, you didn't tell me that.
Thanks. Stream is ended. Close.
Didn't know that.
Oh wait. Yeah, no, it's like a black screen. Unless like he just didn't click play yet. Nope.
That was released in the last 3 years.
Yeah, I don't know
Exactly,
what's
it's
going
emptier than
on.
my own channel. I will stand by the notion
The
that the last
fuck?
good AAA
I can
horror
hear
game
it,
that wasn't
though.
a remake was Resident Evil 7. And
You can hear
since
it?
then, the genre has been
Yeah, I can hear it. I'm just can't. Frenzy, join VC.
Go ahead.
Come here. Join VC,
Join the
Frenzy.
video. Yeah.
Join us. Join us.
Change win. I mean, I could just show you my entire thing.
Okay.
I don't have anything incriminating.
I do.
I'm fine.
I have all my booty pics in a folder. Yes, Frenzy, join. Come here.
No, I mean,
I do? Yeah, please. I would love to have you. Multiple windows. I'm in a simulation.
Frenzy, どこですか?
大丈夫?大丈夫ですよ。
大丈夫ですよ。Frenzy chan san. Domo.
Domo.
Domo. Frenzy.
Ayo, chill.
Dude, I was watching Kitty for like, when you guys were talking about Kitty make pancakes and I joined for a second.
Bro, I swear to God, this dude has like an old man redeem.
I know.
And Frenzy's like, oh, it's only 10 minutes. Bitch, I felt like I was in it for 10 years. Like he kept doing, I was like, how long is he gonna be Mermaid Man? And we were grateful. Like, God damn.
I don't know how he does like the old voice.
We gotta talk to the other
Back in my day, That's it.
Frenzy, stop typing and actually use your voice, okay?
Yeah, your family's not there. You can scream all you want.
Oh, she's alone? Come here,
You
Frenzy.
said that like 50 minutes ago.
Let us slide in. Hold on. No, come here.
No.
I got something you can hold. Wait, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm well, I can't get bonked, so.
I'll make your cat big. Benji.
Hey, yo, chill.
Ew, chill.
Ew.
And we were grateful.
And we were grateful.
And we were grateful.
He's actually very funny.
And we
I
were
was like, bro, shut the fuck up.
Dude, I love Kitty McPancakes. He's so freaking funny, dude. And how do you know I'm alone? I didn't say that.
You said that in chat like an hour ago.
No, I didn't. I said I think they're going to work.
Oh.
I said I think.
Kick him out. Lock the door.
I said I think.
So is unhinged.
Dang.
I am.
Yeah.
I remember like when Chewie left because he had to like
Leave it grapefruit.
get ready for school. I was trying to set up the freaking like snack shit on stream where people can gift you food or whatever.
Oh,
Oh,
right.
And I was
The
looking
feed
at
stream.
Dunkin', like the donuts and stuff. And I was looking at like donuts and I told Frenzy, I was like, I'll stuff your donut.
I was like, yo, chill.
I'll bonk you when you
Okay,
stream.
so like,
Okay.
bro,
Okay,
the way
Z.
Kate does it though. I told you it's great, bro.
I was like,
Yo,
oh my god, he
chill,
did the thing. He
chill.
did the thing.
He did the
I
thing.
told you, dude. I told you. Bro, Kitty's great. He has like a bunch of
I didn't know I
things.
didn't know he knew Yap though.
Oh, I just recently like discovered that guy.
I watch him draw all the freaking time, dude.
Yeah, I just recently followed him because when I met Kitty, I never seen that guy in chat until like recently. Otherwise, I probably would have followed like a long time ago. But
Bro, this
oh,
food got me
so you
bricked,
know that
bro.
pink cat that was in the stream?
The who?
You know the pink little like chibi that was with Kitty
Oh
on
yeah,
the stream?
yeah.
Oh,
That's Rio, the artist that I follow. She's also a VTuber.
Oh yeah, she's
That's
really
when
cool.
I was talking. Yeah,
I've
she's
like
really
come
nice.
across her channel before.
Yeah, she's super nice.
Bro, this food is
I love
getting me bricked, bro.
I love when
Holy
she's like
shit.
Flinzy. It's so cute.
Oh.
Who was
saw
their
hi, Nina,
child?
so cute.
There was a child in the stream.
A child?
Is it
Yeah, there was a
child?
child next to them.
Oh, you talking about the pink cat? Because that was
yeah,
Rio.
At least it
That was
sounded
Rio.
like a child.
If it was a pink cat, that was Rio.
Oh yeah, probably. It was like a
Yeah,
little
she's
pink
from
little
Japan. She's from
babe.
Japan.
Oh, she's adorable.
Yeah, she's super cute. She draws like, dude, her art is freaking fire, dude.
It's
Rio
fucking
Dio.
fire, dude. Fucking fire,
Rio is freaking fire, dude. Rio Dio. That's her name.
Wait, if I do this.
Yeah, they were talking about cereal.
Cereal?
Yeah, they were talking about cereal and she was like, she doesn't like her cereal like soggy. So like she eats her
So
cereal
does she eat
without
it right
milk
away?
sometimes. Yeah, she's eating it out of the box.
Sorry, I'm like plugging.
No,
But
go ahead.
that's her. Rio Dio. Dude, her alerts are so cute because they're voiced by like Kitty McPancakes. Like when people follow her and like sub, it's really cute. It's like this long ass message that he does. It like goes on for like a minute, dude. Like you thought, bro, you're thinking about the old man we're doing, bro.
Fucking god. Yeah, I think this mic position is better because you can't really hear my roommates anymore.
Oh really?
I mean, like I don't see it on Discord.
Oh okay.
Yeah.
Wait, Chu, are you streaming this or what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
he
on
is.
Discord.
It's
Oh,
just
okay,
that
hold on.
I can't see the screen.
Yeah, I'm moving shit on OBS.
So he has to like
Oh, I
actually
was
show
like,
me his
wait.
OBS.
Oh, I
Wait,
don't
you
have anything.
can't. Wait.
What?
Wait, so
Why
you
is
can't
there
like
shit
stream
in
it
all
from
caps?
YouTube? Like you can't stream the YouTube window?
Like
No, it
yeah, I
doesn't let
can't
me.
see it. It's like black.
Oh, I think it's cause it's either the browser.
Yeah,
Because
it's
I've had
probably.
this issue before, and it was literally because of the browser I was using. So usually when I stream YouTube, it has to be a certain browser.
But I've used Opera to stream YouTube and it works.
Yeah.
You've
So it's
guys
weird.
seen
It
it.
has to. Well, for me, it has to be like windowed. Like it can't be like full screen.
Oh, let me try that then.
Yeah. So like whenever I stream from
You're
Opera,
talking
because I
about.
prefer it.
Oh, you're
Because there's
talking
less
about the
ads.
whole window shit. Oh
Yeah, like
yeah.
you have to you have to
Oh
well
my
not minimize
eyes!
it.
What the fuck?
Ah god.
Sorry.
So I have to like not make the window full screen. It has to be like
Close
like
the
moved a little bit.
Oh okay.
If that makes sense.
Oh yeah, that makes
Like not
perfect-
super small, but you know what I mean.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
thank you.
Like I'm not an expert, but it's just something I had to learn, you know.
No, you're an expert. It's okay.
I'm not, bro.
Hi everybody.
I
Frenzy's
keep
an
messing
expert.
with shit. I just
She
kept
knows
messing
she
with
knows what
shit
to
till it
do.
worked.
It's
And I
okay.
was like, I need to make the reaction streams work somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I still need to fix that.
Oh my
No, you're fine,
god,
you're
I
fine.
forget my professor's bringing kids tomorrow.
Oh, kittens?
Yeah, she's bringing
Who,
like she's
you?
fostering 2 kittens tomorrow.
Oh.
And
Aw.
she has to like constantly feed them and like wipe their ass. So she was
Aw.
like, "Is it okay if I like put them in the middle of class? Like they have a playpen, they can just play around, whatever." And we were like, "Yeah, the fuck? Why are you asking? Just pop them in."
Pop him in. So I was like messaging someone. Okay, I need some coffee.
You didn't make coffee?
No, it's right here. I'm just grabbing it.
Oh, drink that shit. Consume it.
Sure, what's happening?
So-
I'm looking at your stream. Sorry, I'm just waiting.
What's going on?
I'll just show you my entire.
What's going on,
It's
man? What's going on?
I'll show you my
What's
entire.
going on, buddy?
Fine. Fine.
Alright.
It's fine.
Dude, I was talking about this thing that she like that she
Yeah,
does with her
but you-
coffee. I want to try it so bad, dude.
With
Hey,
coffee.
She
Damon.
said that she puts like ice cream in her freaking coffee. I want to try that. Sounds bomb,
What kind
dude.
of ice cream did she put in it?
Huh?
What kind of ice cream did it? What kind?
I have no idea. I just heard
Yeah.
ice cream in coffee, and I was like, oh yeah, yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
I want
That
that so
probably
bad.
sounds
What the
really good.
fuck?
Yeah.
Well,
It
there's
probably
like
just
I-
tastes like creamer. Probably just tastes
there's-
like flavored creamer.
Yeah, there's
so.
but there's like coffee flavor ice cream.
Oh, true.
Yeah, but I mean, like knowing Frenzy, she's not gonna eat it.
So when are we moving to New
Well,
Zealand
I
so we
will.
can be fed daily?
I don't know. I'm just gonna.
I'm
sleep
not,
on
I know I'm
the
not getting on a plane, so
floor.
Just get a boat.
dude,
You'd
Just get a
rather be on a
ride.
boat than a plane, my G?
I would. Yeah,
Oh my fucking god.
I know how to swim.
Yeah, that's all it does.
You can't swim in the sky, so
Yeah, but I can fly. The hell?
Bye.
nah.
Just flap your
You
arms.
can't save
forehead.
yourself in the
Just
air.
swim.
You can't save yourself in the air. That's how I feel.
Just flap your arms, forehead.
Forehead.
And just free fall. Okay.
Come
What do
here,
you
forehead.
mean? What do you mean you know how to swim? It's like negative bajillion degrees in that water. Hella fish
Yeah.
gonna bite your feet off. God forbid you're in shark infested water. You're gonna die.
Bro, I'd rather be on the ground though.
Frenzy says she
Not
want to play
falling.
raft, bro, in real life.
Bro, just get a raft.
True.
Just
I'd
whack
rather
a
be
tree
on the
and
ground
make a
than
boat.
falling and then hit impact and splat. So.
Splat. I'd rather hit impact
Coffee,
and
ice
splat than
cream.
drown and feel like my lungs are on fucking fire.
Dude, fuck drowning. I hate that. I'd rather just die in a plane in 2
rather
That's
just be on the
seconds.
ground.
that's literally what it is. Like drowning feels like your lungs are on fucking fire.
Fuck.
I'd rather be on the ground than falling. So.
Frenzy's like, I'd rather drown, bitch.
Yeah, probably.
Fuck.
Bro, that nightmare was scary. You don't know.
I don't. I don't know.
You weren't there, bitch.
I wasn't there, bitch.
Solo was flying the plane, that's why.
Are you playing this video?
Oh,
or
no,
what?
no, I'm waiting.
Fucking god, Frenzy. God damn, dude.
Bro, I'm here. You're like, join. I'm like, okay,
Why is this?
I'm ready.
It should be relatively easy to make a horror game nowadays.
Fuck.
Just throw together some assets from
But I
the
can't
Unity
hear it.
store and then program in a jump scare and bingo.
Turn up your
$1
volume
million
for me.
deposited into
Yeah,
your
something's
account in
wrong.
approximately 30 days.
Yeah, it's
But this is
I
part
got
of the
you
reason why
max
major horror
B.
games aren't released
Yeah, it's
nowadays,
like
and
all
it's led
max.
people
I don't
to
know
ask
what
the
that
general
is
public
lately.
Thanks, Turtle.
Like,
Frenzy
everyone
is so
streams.
goddamn
the biggest reason
impatient,
as to why
dude.
AAA horror games seem
No,
to be
it's
lacking
like,
lately
I
can
just
be
wanna
boiled down
hear
to
it,
the fact that
join.
the game just doesn't have the attention span to last
Bro,
for a
you're
full
barking at me to
492
join the
hour
call.
open world
I'm here and I'm like,
MMORPG
okay,
gacha
I'm
horror
ready.
game nowadays.
Yeah.
Or maybe a long horror game
Where
can be
just
decent.
hang,
Just
dude.
make a game so long
Where's
that you
at?
think it's supposed to be a horror game and then all of a sudden your heart is 6 meters away from where it's meant to be. Horror is a genre that's
I'm gonna have-
incredibly reliant
bro, I'm
on
gonna
feeling
have
something
to,
from the
like,
experience,
watch
mainly
it on the
fear. If you
stream.
come out of
Yeah,
a
that's
horror
what I told
experience,
Chewy, and
What's
she
that?
was like, no.
Fine.
She was like, anyway, we're
But
just
I
gonna be
didn't want you
behind.
to
It's
have a
okay.
delay.
No, don't worry
I'm gonna have
about
to
it.
mute because I'm not trying to hear this twice.
I'll just like stop streaming on Discord then.
No. Okay.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. All right.
Problem solved.
without feeling scared
But you
once,
have a
is it
delay.
really horror? Or do you just have balls of steel? It's one of the reasons that I honestly think TV horror doesn't do as well as a horror
should probably
movie.
download
It's
Chrome
harder to
just
get
for
people consistently
reaction.
scared if you take them out of the experience for about a week before throwing them back in, with the exception of anthologies and one-shots. This is also why one-shot horror games in the indie genre do so well. Now, in every
Wait, what are you
video, I've
downloading?
mentioned that the indie
should
horror
probably
game
download
community does a much better job at curating a good
Chrome?
horror game
Yeah,
experience
for
than the
react
AAA
shit.
horror game industry,
So
because
you
of the
don't use
variety of
Opera?
games that are available to
Opera's
consume
pretty
on
I use
pretty much
Opera
a
for,
daily
like, daily
basis.
shit,
For the
but
price of one major horror
if
game from
I need to watch something on
developer, you could
Steam.
play
I should probably
60 of them
download
that
it.
would arguably scare you more on sites such as Itch.io. However, this
mean,
wasn't
not up,
always
bro,
the
fuck.
case with the rise of the
Bro.
RPG maker horror genre of the
okay.
late 2000s
I
and
use
early
Microsoft Edge and
2010s.
Opera.
These games helped to
I
bridge
have
the gap
Edge.
between lengthy games and the general horror experience, most of these games being rich in story and chock full of scares left, right, and center. Literally everything in these games were out to kill you. But there's a game that I neglected to mention on purpose that has taken over my life for about 6 years. It's considered the godfather of the genre, the big boss, the great kahuna. Are you talking to me? Shut up, man! It's also a video that I'm really going to enjoy editing and post. Isn't that right, Thaf? Thanks, prick. Just one simple game managed to spawn a massive franchise from such a relatively simple concept. The game in question is called Corpse Party.
That celebration. Dude, I bought the game, but I don't know if I should wait until October to play it.
Corpse Party is a franchise that I hold very close to my heart for a variety of reasons. It was my gateway into horror games when I was just a lowly secondary school student studying for exams while pissing and shit. My love for Corpse Party also coincided with the time I got into more edgy anime. Fun story, so my first experience with horror manga was when I found out about the Bongshon Don Ghost manga when I was 12, and my school forgot to make sure that the students were not admins, so I found the original link, set the recipients to everyone in the school younger than me, and clicked send.
Who begs?
Yeah, I probably should not have done that. Was I damaged when I was younger? Probably. Anyway, most people's introduction to Corpse Party would have been via the PSP game that was released in 2012. But what if I told you that the franchise has been a thing for over 20 years? In fact, it's so expansive that it rivals Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter and Divergent... No, not Divergent. When it comes to the amount of
I've
content
seen this
surrounding
video
it.
before,
From
but I
just
can't remember
one
shit.
small
So
game, it spawned a franchise spanning 12 games, several manga adaptations, an anime adaptation, and a live-action adaptation. Yes, you are not hearing things. There were 2 live-action adaptations of Corpse Party, and in this video, I'll be going over the entire franchise. Even the live-action movies. Over the past few months, I've spent hours upon hours in this pointless journey to go through the entirety of the Corpse Party franchise through thick and thin, and believe me when I say that I have seen things. I have seen things mere mortals could not even begin to understand. This franchise is known across the interlands as one of the most gruesome franchises ever made, and for good reason. It's literally in the title, for God's sake, you're partying with corpses! After seeing how expansive the franchise is, I decided to go and play through all of it. Yeah, even Blood Drive, and those of you who are well acquainted with the franchise know how much of a chore it is to get through the game. I spent a grand total of 4 years working on this video, between waiting for games to release and going through several script rewrites and a lot of frustration. So hopefully the century-long wait between the last video and this one is worth it. But there's only so many ways that I can describe the franchise as ew, gross! And I feel like I've been a bit vague for too long. So I guess now is the time where I drop all of the crypticness and talk about the game. Of course, there are going to be spoilers for the entire franchise, so if you want to experience it yourself without any prior knowledge, the door is over here. It's right here. Look, I've spawned one in. You can just walk right in. There we go.
I've
there
seen
we
this
go.
game
now
like so many times. I'll
let's
probably
commence our
forget
deep
about
dive into the
October.
Corpse Party franchise, beginning with...
Like, I know like the main beats of the game. Other than that, I can't remember shit.
The year is 1996. The Nintendo 64 had just been released and set out to ruin the lives of several speedrunners that hadn't been born yet. DVDs finally launched in Japan and set out to ruin the lives of several mathematicians and scientists that hadn't even been born yet. And the mad cow disease hit the land of the Blighty. Our good friends over at ASCII went and released a program titled RPG Maker 98, also known as Dante 98. But the difference between this version of RPG Maker and the others was that this wasn't actually released on Windows. No, not even Billiam Gates had access to the software. He was permanently locked out and had no access whatsoever. Dante was released for the NEC PC 9801 home system in Japan. This machine emanated soul. Only the highest quality games could ever be released on this system. This was the RTX 3090 of the 90s. You try and play a game that required more than 3.5 pixels and... With the release of Dante, ASCII needed a way to market it to the masses, so they introduced a concept that will come synonymous with the gaming industry, mainly the current state of the horror industry, and that is the concept of game jams. To promote Dante, ASCII decided to publish a monthly magazine which went by the name of Login Softcom, which stood for Login Software Company, where amateur developers could submit their games and have a chance to be featured. One plucky lad who went by the name of Makoto Kedouin submitted a game to the magazine on April 22nd, 1996. The game went by the name of Corpse-Party, and it managed to get published in the spring 1996 edition of the mag.
Very nice.
It didn't win the competition though, it got second place. Guess that means the game is shit then. Corpse Party took inspiration from a Capcom released horror game which went by the name of Sweet Home, released on the Famicom in 1989 and based on the Japanese horror film of the same name. Sweet Home can be considered the true godfather of the entire horror RPG genre, as that game influenced a lot of tropes that can be seen in Corpse Party, and influenced the development of the Resident Evil franchise, which was actually supposed to be a remake of Sweet Home. My head hurts. You're going to see a lot of comparisons with Sweet Home and Corpse Party, as a lot of gameplay and story beats are used between both games, such as the notion that if a character dies in the game, a version of them dies in real life. Similar to Sweet Home, you also begin the game in a party of 5, and you have the ability to switch between multiple parties split into 2. I'll get into that a little later. Anyway, upon the release of Corpse Party, it made waves across the small gaming community because unlike all other games released for the competition, this game was an RPG. With no RPG elements! Since technology wasn't incredibly advanced back then,
it's reading simulator
the
bonkers.
game will make you a little confused as to why and how
My
any of the
brain
characters
hurts.
are even worried for their
Is it
lives
too
in the
much
first
flashy
place when
shit?
they literally have magic. Because the game was developed with such a strict time limit of about 3 or 4 seconds, a lot of creative liberties had to be taken in this initial version of the game. For example, instead of the very long and convoluted story that the Corpse Party franchise is now known for, the premise was quite simple. A group of students, +1, have all gathered in a school after class, and as a punishment for being so much of a teacher's
I'm
pet
trying
that
to
they
keep up.
decided to stay behind at school for some after-school activities, they get transported to a haunted elementary school in a parallel universe, and now they have to find their way out. There was no curse, there was no ceremony. The story was as simple as reading the phone book backwards. While the game's visuals looked new and refreshing at the time, you could tell that the developer found out about the clone stamp tool for the first time, because tiles and graphics are repeated everywhere in the game. Because of the tech and time limitations that the game had, the decorations around the school that the characters
Wait,
end
actually,
up
let me
in look
update, just in case, let me update the title of the stream for now with like flashing lights and shit. Just for now. Because this shit has like a way too much flashy shit, so I don't want any to come in here by accident and see that shit. Let me flashing lights. What else? Flashing. Running. Gamer. Okay, spell that. Gamer flashing lights. For now. Smile.
repetitive and boring. As such, when the game got inevitably remade 15 years later as Corpse Party Rebuilt, the developers focused more on the environment of the game as opposed to the gameplay outlined in the original. I've spent this long talking about the game without talking about the characters, so I guess I should probably do that now. Now let me address the big elephant in the room. Where are all the other characters that franchise fans have come to know and love for about 3 seconds before they disappear forever, never to be seen again? Well, obviously because of the time constraints that were placed on the original version of Corpse Party, there was no time to make sure that the game was optimized to...
Alright, one more. Just get rid of... That's a lie. I'm not working. I'm not working at all. Nor did I work.
Main protagonists in the game at any given time. Any more and your precious NEC PC would have met a swift end. So the game gives you 5 playable characters, although I wouldn't say all of them are playable because the majority of the game has you playing the perspective of the team leaders once the split ends up happening. Maybe Kedwin jumped into the future and saw just how frustrating it is when you find a character in a cave in Pokemon and you're forced to let them tag along because you can't cancel the dialogue and you can't escape because you can't use your Pokemon to fly away because they can't carry more than 1 person. Anyway, in no particular order, I will list out the main characters of the original Corpse Party story. You've got Satoshi, by default the main protagonist of the entire franchise, and as such is the coward of the group, since he has to act as the stand-in to the audience who have absolutely no idea what they're getting themselves into. You end up playing as him the most in the entire franchise, which I'll get into later, and he is described as being a natural leader of the group. You have Naomi, the poster girl of the entire franchise. She exists in this franchise to suffer. I don't know what Kedwin had against people whose names are Naomi, and if he got bullied by someone called Naomi, then that would explain just how much suffering she goes under as the games go by. She is absolutely a ghost magnet. There's Ayumi, the class president, which is already a red flag, and a big fan of the occult, which is an even redder flag. Remember the times when you were 14 years old and you just discovered creepypastas for the first time? Or maybe you Remember the times when you were 14 years old and you just discovered creepypastas for the first time? Or maybe you watch my content or these people. That's Ayumi. That's right, you are all Ayumi. Yoshiki is an imposter. No, shut up! I'm not talking about you. Yoshiki's the most interesting character of the entire original cast because he's actually—
Dude, when I was a kid, I was legitimately terrified of zombies. Like when I was like 12, I saw a fucking World War Z, and I legitimately thought zombies were gonna kill me.
the only one who goes through some sort of character development from the original to the PSP version of the game. Like, look at him. You can't look at this and tell me this is actually Yoshiki. All the other characters are kind of similar to what people remember them as, but Yoshiki looks like a placeholder that someone who has 2 minutes to submit a PowerPoint presentation had to use as clip art for an anti-bullying campaign. Finally, you have Yuka.
Maybe.
Moving swiftly on back to the gameplay, and the gameplay is just as you expect an RPG Maker horror game to play, and uses gameplay beats that have become a staple of the franchise for future installments, for better and worse. For example, due to the time constraints, most of the puzzles in the game boil down to picking up an item and using it elsewhere, or flipping switches that change something elsewhere in the building. The game is fairly primitive and repetitive, but it was very story-driven. Even though it's not as elaborate as the later games in the franchise, the game quickly became a certified cult classic too. Another concept that will become a very important part of the franchise is the notion that the game has multiple different endings. Not as much as the later ones, of course, but Corpse-Party essentially graded you on how well you played the game, with an A rank being awarded for making sure everyone's alive and well, a B rank for losing one member, all the way down to a D rank if you end up losing more. You killed 3 people in cold blood? F minus, see me after class, you psycho! Now, if you want to play Corpse-Party 98, you're completely
This is really cool, yeah.
Again, because it's a certified antique. You get caught trying to run this thing and your whole house turns into stone.
I love his editing as well.
No version of the game exists in English, so unless you want to go through the whole trouble
His YouTube, what's his name? Name is Theft9. You can see some other of his videos later.
Emulation,
I'll tap in chat.
You won't be able to experience the original Corpse Party yourself. But the game ended up getting a soft remake in 2011 titled Corpse Party Rebuilt. And this was made using RPG Maker XP, including things like slightly improved graphics and an edit to one of the endings of the original game. One downgrade that was made from the original was the fact that RPG Maker XP added a variety of features, one of the most revolutionary being the inclusion of a run mechanic. To compensate for this new run mechanic, the developers of Rebuilt decided to slow down the original speed to the point that it is a literal crawl. Any slower and you would be going backwards. Corpse Party sent waves through the Japanese horror community as people flocked to the game to experience some low-budget spooks, and Kedwin set out to ride the wave until it fizzled out, as he began work on a sequel almost immediately after the release of Corpse Party titled Satsuki's Heart. That didn't go far. After that cancellation though, the game's franchise wouldn't see any new titles for years. That is, until a game would come out that would give the franchise the reputation it has today, adding so many new characters, expanding the lore by a lot, and being a staple of the entire horror genre. And that game is...
He hasn't posted in 8 months? No! This video's Chef's Kiss?
Corpse Party, also known as Corpse Party Blood Covered, also known as Corpse Party Blood Covered Repeated Fear, also known as New Puyo Puyo Corpse Party Blood Covered Repeated Fear on Games for Windows Live Remake, is the golden goose of the entire franchise. You want to get introduced to the franchise? Well, this is your official entry point. This game takes everything that the original 1998 version had and injects it with copper sulfate laced with some blood of the Elder Gods. After riding the success of the original, Kedwin did a super smart thing and founded a studio known as Team Gris, with the intention of rebooting
This took him 4 years to do, so I get it too.
This was no easy task, but they did it. The production history of the game is very interesting, as there are lots of versions to choose from, and an outsider will feel intimidated by just how much choice there is.
We'll see GTA 6 before we see this man's next video.
PlayStation Puritans pissed off that you picked the PC edition of the popular franchise. The initial intention of Gris Squared was to develop the game for a mobile audience as early as 2007. They foresaw the success of genre smash hits such as Raid Shadow Legends and Diablo Immortal and Genshin Impact, and wanted to get there first. Don't know how they were going to do it when iPhones didn't exist back then. Maybe they'd have it working on a Nokia brick? Anyway, the game was released as New Chapter, and the reason why I don't have any gameplay is because it doesn't exist. Yeah, it just released episodically and then they cancelled it. The only thing from that game that can be seen really are promotional screenshots showing the contents of the game, I guess. After the cancellation of New Chapter, the developers went back to the drawing board. What do they do now? They captured the mobile market a little too early and needed to make some money, and that was when the chosen platform arrived. Windows. The developers moved on over to developing on Windows and changed the title of the game from New Chapter to Blood Covered. Edgy. In 2008, the game was again released episodically, and the Windows version of the game introduced a notion that will also be very relevant throughout the rest of the video. Voice acting. The PC version of the game introduced voice actors into the franchise, although they are not the voice actors you're all familiar with. Not yet. The devs aren't made of that much money, and the voice acting wasn't throughout the game, with the developers electing to have voice acting only be in important scenes. The PC version of Corpse Party is the version that most people may be familiar with, as that is the most accessible version of the game. The only problem with the PC version being that it is the most vanilla of the lot. The character sprites aren't the detailed ones that the franchise is known for just yet.
Oh yeah,
and the
I
sword,
avoided
which
buying
hadn't
that
actually
version because the
received a
characters
proper
look
name
like
yet,
shit.
didn't look incredibly detailed. However, development of the Windows edition of Corpse Party ended up being halted by the publisher of the games, 5PB, who bought the rights to the game and sanctioned a release for the PSP, patching in Repeated Fear into the title of the game. CPBCRF was released in 2010, featuring all 5 chapters, and was released in the West in 2011 as just Corpse Party. This game is the definitive Corpse Party game, containing the groundwork for the entirety of the Corpse Party franchise, adding in multiple characters, fleshing out the school, and featuring the soundtrack that the franchise is all too known for, which I will get into later. This game was also the game that had the money poured into it, as 5PB took the original voice actors, sent them on their way, and replaced them with bigger industry names, with one of the most notable voice actors in the entire cast being the voice of Sachiko, who also voices Pikachu. So that makes the game infinitely funnier when you think of Pikachu brutally murdering several children in a haunted school because he's tired of being bossed around by his masters. Since the PSP version is the most important version of the game for this video, this is the part of the video where I have to cover the plot as fast as I can for those of you guys who are too scared to play the game, or you just want your memories jogged as to what happened. I played the 3DS version of the game, and you can watch footage of it on my Twitch channel, which will be linked in the description and will show up around here. So if you want the full experience, go there. But without further ado, the game begins with Ayumi telling a story to a fellow classmate, similar to the opening of the original PC-98 game. But immediately there's a major difference between versions, and it's not just that the game looks better, but there are more complete and utter strangers introduced to the cast that weren't there before. Yes, in this version of Corpse Party, several characters were patched in to flesh out the story and pad the game's runtime. Seiko, who is Naomi's best friend, the resident funny man of the group. Morishige, a wannabe stage actor who's incredibly reserved and cares for Mayu, pretty much the reason why everything in the game happens. It's our fault! And last but not least, the teacher, Miss Yui. After the scary story, news breaks that Mayu is leaving Kisaragi Academy. I forgot to mention that the school has a name now, and they kind of already knew Mayu was leaving, but you don't know this until the events of the second game. Mayu is about to escape everything that happens in the game, but Ayumi browsed one too many.
This is the one. Yeah, this is the one everyone mostly knows.
Conjures up an idea to make
this
sure
is the PewDiePie version I know.
Forever. I mean, how the hell did no one just outright refuse to do it when she said she got this from the internet? The charm is called the Sachiko Ever After charm, and you have to repeat a sentence multiple times for every person in the room, or else you fall into the void. Someone doesn't do the charm right and they all fall into the void. But technically speaking, the source that Ayumi got the information about the charm from was lying for clicks on the internet. And they all fell for it, and now they're stuck in a haunted school named Heavenly Host. And they've all been separated and they've got to escape. There's the setup. I'll talk about the game again now. You start the game as Naomi and Seiko. And your job is pretty much to explore the school and learn more about the situation that you've landed yourselves in. And oh boy, it's not a good situation. A lot of the school seems to have missing chunks and is susceptible to earthquakes left, right, and center. The major selling point of Corpse Party is just how expansive the game's environment is, especially compared to the original. Literally everything got a facelift, with the dark, miserable school atmosphere being what drove most people to the very detailed story. The biggest difference between CPBCRF and CP98 is the fact that in this version of the game, instead of all the characters being stuck together and splitting up of their own accord, which is incredibly dumb, the game makes use of alternate dimensions to trap the main characters in and build on one of the biggest things Corpse Party has to offer: and its psychological horror fueled by isolation. What the original game lacked was the atmosphere to sell such a horrifying story. It was essentially just a haunted mansion of jump scares. In CVBCRF, the gloomy environment of Heavenly Host feels more real, especially because there's just so much ground to cover and so much to explore, and the game continuously beats you over the head with the notion that you are alone. There's no one coming to rescue you, most of the ghosts in the game want you dead, and there's zero hope of escape. All of this is highlighted the most in the very first chapter as a way to make sure you know just how screwed you are. Corpse Party is a very big fan of the notion of tell, don't show, but this actually works in their favor because the game does not shy away from gruesome descriptions of the fates of each of the characters in the game. As you explore the school more and more, you'll end up coming across multiple bodies on the floor. Sometimes these bodies have notes with them written by the poor souls that had somehow found themselves in Heavenly Host. And the notes really try and mess with the morale of the protagonists of the game, focusing on psychological threats that come with being trapped in a miserable school for hours if not days on end, with the constant fear of vengeful spirits coming to murder you at any given point. Things such as characters feeling incredibly homesick and slowly starving from the lack of food. This is one of the strongest points of Corpse Party, the ability to have you care so much for each of the characters, as Kedwin's writing focuses on the characterization of the main group, with backstories for all of them before, during, and after their deaths. I haven't even talked about the deaths yet. One of the biggest selling points of Corpse Party is kind of in the name. You're partying with corpses, damn it! There are an imperial truck ton of deaths in this game. Some are completely avoidable and are a direct result of you being a bad gamer, such as letting yourself get caught by the ghosts, which is actually really hard to do. You have to be very, very bad in order to die that way. What's wrong with you? Other deaths, however, are completely unavoidable, and unlike the original Corpse Party game, killing any of the party members in your group doesn't warrant a game over. You gotta continue on without that party member and play towards the ending, because we're David Cage now. You ever played Heavy Rain? Ever heard of that old relic of a studio that goes by the name of Telltale Games? Each choice you make in Corpse Party, and mind you, there aren't that many choices to make, it's not as fleshed out as the most KG of David Cage games, but you better choose the right option or else you could land yourself a wrong end. Wrong ends are also a franchise staple for Corpse Party, and in most cases, there are fully fleshed out endings based on something that you did in that chapter beforehand. Or maybe you did something that the game gave absolutely no hints that you were even supposed to do in the first place, leaving you confused as to how far back you need to track in order to make sure you're in the right path. You, chapter 1. In each chapter, the wrong ends can contain a variety of pleasant deaths, such as getting buried alive, eating your best friend, or swallowing a pair of scissors somehow. Most of these wrong ends are a byproduct of forgetting to do something in the game. For example, in chapter 1, in order to complete the level, you need to enter a specific classroom that requires a key that can be found in a completely random staircase. When you enter the classroom, you need to read the newspaper that's found inside.
Dude,
the game tries to take you for a schmuck and constantly ask you, do you really want to read the newspaper? Do you really want to? Do you? Your whole family could die if you read it. You still want to read it, you maniac. F it. Fine. After reading through the newspaper, you just play through the rest of the chapter like you normally would, and you would get the true ending, which involves Seiko hanging herself in the girls' bathroom.
In-game, Twitch, in-game. It's a video game. They're anime people. They're not real. In-game, in-game, in-game.
But after the event, the three
it's
ghosts
an anime. It's a show. It's not real.
Behind you and force you to swallow a pair of scissors.
And this counts as a wrong
end. Why? As the game progresses, you get more and more ways you could land your heroes in trouble and gift them a bad ending. This mechanic is there to keep you on your feet and ensure that you search every nook and cranny that the game has to offer. Although you're not supposed to examine everything the game has to offer, because that could land you in a bad end as well. Scattered around the school are victims' memoirs, the dying words of a character in the game. And even though the game warned you earlier not to read all the victims' memoirs, with the amount of bull the game's pulled on you thus far, you'd want to read all of them out of morbid curiosity. You read through all of them and things turn out fine and nothing happens. Just kidding! A cutscene's automatically triggered. Turns out you were the writer of the victim's memoir, and now you're living through the nightmare that you have written for yourself. Wrong end, try again, bitch. No, but wait, you actually need to get all the wrong ends to 100% the game, so technically you should read all the victim's memoirs anyway! In the final chapter of the game, things get even worse when you can trigger a path to a wrong end extremely early on in the chapter, but you don't realize it until the very end of the chapter. Allowing Yuka to get caught by Yuya automatically triggers a wrong end that you won't know is a wrong end until a full hour and a half of gameplay, filled with many plot holes because the developers didn't have the foresight to write that much dialogue with one character missing. Trust me, I wouldn't write for that either, just keep the plot holes. Moving back to the story real quick, and I don't want to make this video a plot summary of all the games, so I'll make it brief. When you play through each of the characters, you gain control of a new group of people depending on which parallel universe they landed in. In chapter 1, you're with Naomi and Seiko. In chapter 2, you're with Yoshiki and Ayumi, with Miss Yui for about 3 seconds before she splits up and Karma serves her for not following the creepypasta code. In chapter 3, you're with Satoshi and Yuka and Morishige and Mayu. But this is a funny little chapter because you meet Naomi and Seiko's dead body, then get sent back into the dimension with Ayumi and Yoshiki away from Yuka. But then a chapter later, all of the paths start to converge and you're kinda all together at chapter 5, or at least the surviving members, to get through the rest of the story. Holy shit, I haven't even talked about what happens to some of the members. So basically, Seiko dies because she has an argument with Naomi, and then Naomi gets possessed by a thing called the Darkening, which is used as a plot device in the first game, but a game mechanic in the later games in the series. Anyway, the Darkening compels her to tie a noose around Seiko's neck and kill her dead. In chapter 2, Mayu talks to 2 of the ghosts that were trapped in Heavenly Host and feels a lot of empathy for them to the point that she wants to stay there forever. But then Ayumi and Yoshiki use the doll that you find earlier in the chapter to roast the shit out of the ghosts, and they don't take no shit from a bunch of school kids, so they grab Mayu and yeet her at a wall, causing her to explode into pieces. Later in the game, turns out Morishige has a borderline fetish with Guro as he's snapping up pictures of all the dead bodies around the school. Then he unknowingly takes a special interest in a very big gory patch on the wall. It's Mayu. And he goes batshit crazy and he dies, I think. In the final chapter, Miss Yui sacrifices herself to save Ayumi and falls down into a void and takes a lot of damage and dies. Then in the final chapter, it turns out that the person that was giving you hints throughout the game and Ayumi's idol is a pathological liar and manipulator. Who knew? Oops. So then you tell her exactly what she did and roast her so hard she vomits ink and dies again. And now you have to do the Sachiko Ever After Chamber actually properly, and you do it and make it out alive, but everyone who died in the school gets erased from existence. The end. In CPBCRF, this also marks the first game in which a new strand of virus has taken control over a few of the characters, which goes by the name of Corona Dumbass Syndrome, which is a very lethal virus that causes the people affected to make decisions that are so incredibly stupid, almost as stupid as running Cyberpunk on a PS3. Most of the incredibly dumb decisions are all the fault of Yuka and the writer's barely disguised fetish. You will notice in the Corpse Party franchise that a suspiciously large number of characters that just so happen to all be young girls tend to have an incessant need to want to use a lavatory, and the game manages to make almost an entire chapter about this plot point with Yuka. In the 3rd chapter of the game, she asks Satoshi to use the bathroom, and as you explore the school, you find that you cannot go in any of the stalls in the game. You'd expect Yuka to just say sod it and do it in the corner while Satoshi isn't looking, or in the empty bucket that you pass by multiple times throughout the game, but no! Yuka decides to hold it until they find a working toilet. Spoiler alert, they do not, and she decides to do it outside of the building. The same building that changes hallways and rearranges itself when you pass by a specific area. This causes Satoshi and Yuka to get separated, and she is eventually stalked by one of the main antagonists of the franchise, Yuya Kizami, in one of the longest chase sequences in the entire game. And as mentioned before, if you get caught, you land yourself in a wrong end and she dies, all because she refused to just do it in a corner. Believe it or not, this isn't the first time this happens in the Corpse Party franchise, and it certainly will not be the last, as you'll soon find out. The gameplay in CPBCRF is pretty much almost identical to the original Corpse Party, but now the developers had the time and the money to work on the imperfections present in the first game. For example, none of the characters have magical powers anymore.
I don't know.
That's
They
such a
have to be
stupid
hot.
decision to the story. Imagine the regular human characters having magical powers. It would instantly make the game not scary or interesting. In fact, the only RPG element that's present in the game is the health system, and that's not even used much in the game at all. Every ghost counter in the game is an instant death if they catch you. The only time this is remotely relevant is in the first chapter in the infirmary, where Seiko leaves you alone to get attacked by a black sheep. Getting touched by this mist doesn't instantly kill you, but it drains your HP, and if you let your HP drop all the way down to 0, it triggers another wrong end. As well as the 3 ghosts that chase you, you are also chased by a former teacher in the school who's been killed and reanimated as a huge hulking zombie that wields nothing but a big hammer and a big mouth. The good thing about Corpse Party is that it gives you time and space to explore the school and the surrounding areas, giving you time to look at random dead bodies sprawled around the school.
Reading simulator? It literally is. It's a visual
that
novel.
tell you the school they're from and their name.